Well, here we are, folks. It's early in the morning. The chickens are out having fun. And you guys really seem to enjoy the last garden tour, so I thought I'd give you another one, except this time with things a little bit further along. Meanwhile, here's the girls for the main channel. They are looking pretty good, and technically, they've just started flowering. Probably about a week into flowering, but it happens very gradually outside. And the ones in the 20 gallons are looking really nice and bushy. They got a lot of body to them. But the one in the 5 gallon is also still doing okay. Much more signs of being root bound, as you can see, running out of nutrients, out of nitrogen, stuff like that. But here's the rest of our garden, looking much more full than it did about a month ago. So I wanted to show you guys around. So we'll start over here with the potatoes. Potatoes kind of keel over and die just before you harvest them. So you guys can kind of see these are our most ready potatoes. They're just about to be harvested. These ones still have a little ways to go. The cauliflower is still coming along, now much bigger than it was last time I showed you. And right here we have the tomatoes, and they are going nuts. We have quite a few tomatoes in there. It's going to be a wild harvest. Some of them are pretty well hidden, but they're all over the place. And our basil, we've been picking at it pretty good, still going. We've harvested a fair amount of it. Our peppers, which have been one of our less productive items, they are growing. I can show you guys some peppers, like right there, for instance. But I'm not really sure how to get the most out of these peppers. These are better peppers than we had last summer, but still not sure what else can be done with them. If any of you happen to know, shout it out in the comments, because I am by no means a pepper expert. And we also have parsley coming in, right next to it. Hey babe, this is parsley right next to the peppers, right? Yeah. And then we move over to the watermelons. The watermelons have really taken over. And as you can see, the watermelons can just kind of wind right through the white onions. We've been picking our white onions that are hidden under here. They've been quite successful. And our marigolds are flowering at the edges. And you can already find some watermelons if you look carefully. Like there's a watermelon, and there's another watermelon under there. Can we find more? Oh, there's a watermelon in there. And there's probably a few others. I know there's watermelons hidden in here. Yeah, there's one right there. They're just all over the place, doing much better on the watermelons than last year. And then here we had our peas last time I showed you around. We actually picked the peas about 2 weeks ago. We were picking them, and now we've taken them down and planted more peas at the base, because if you do things right with peas, you should be able to pull off 2 rounds of them in a season. And our cucumbers, still long suffering, still not really doing as good as I would have hoped, but they're doing much better. And we do have cucumbers coming, as you guys can see. We've been picking at them a little bit. Probably picked a few already, and there's still a whole bunch coming, including from the cucumbers that we planted late. So even though the chickens wrecked a couple, that was all right. And over here we have our sunflowers. They are just about to pop. Not sure if we'll do sunflowers next year though, because the goal was for them to be pollinators, and they did open kind of late in the game to do that. And then finally the last garden bed. Hi hens. Finally the last garden bed. Our carrots are still doing nicely. We're gonna have to thin them out a little bit because we're not quite getting the thickness out of them we were hoping. Probably because they're a little too close together. We put this net up since last time because the birds were picking at our lettuce. Here's our lettuce, and the lettuce has been doing really good. What we figured out this year versus last year is that we need to actually just keep letting the lettuce grow and pick at its leaves without pulling the whole lettuce. And that maximizes your harvest quite a bit. The first time we tried our hand at lettuce, we'd actually pull them, and that wasn't nearly as productive. Hi, Springy. Oh, and hold that thought, guys. One more thing I forgot to mention. This right here is our dill growing next to our carrots. And it's gotten pretty big, and we've harvested a bunch. And I gotta say, the dill in particular has surprised me in how delicious it is fresh. But meanwhile, we're thinning out our carrots, as you guys can see. There's quite a bit of thinning out to do. So we'll see how those go. Anyway, there we go. Thanks for joining me on the garden tour, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here, subscribe, hit that like button, and I suspect we'll see you soon. Ciao.